Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first podcast of the Daily Soap Opera Chronicles. Today, I will be talking about the American soap operas that aired on Thursday, August 25th, 2016. Now, I took a break from all the soaps this summer because, quite frankly, they were just not very good. So I'm just getting back into them now, and we're going to see how I like them, I guess. My name is Nick, by the way, and we are going to start with the show that I think has improved the most, that being The Young and the Restless. English producer Mal Young has now came on The Young and the Restless to be the new executive producer, and I think he is doing a good job getting the show back to actual character development. First and foremost, I'm loving these openings of the cast talking about the history of Young and the Restless as they approach the 11,000th episode. I think that is next week, 11,000. You only see that in soap operas. So we have Summer and Luca talking about their engagement party. And of course, many characters do not want Summer marrying Luca. And we have the return of Summer's half-brother Daniel, which is good to see someone from the past returning always. I don't know about Daniel's mustache, however. He's looking like Hulk Hogan, brother. Daniel says he has an open mind to hear out Summer about Luca. Meanwhile, Noah, Phyllis, and Sharon are trying to think of ways that Phyllis can make the wedding not happen. Then we also have characters getting ready for Adam's sentencing at the courthouse. Nick tells Chloe about how he and Adam had a talk, and Adam wants him to really look out for Connor, which pisses Chelsea off because she thinks that Adam has already given up on her and Connor and is just accepting that he's going to jail for a long time. Victor, of course, says he's going to do everything in his power to help Adam out, and Jack says Adam shouldn't even be in this predicament in the first place. And of course, Victor and Jack have their usual squabbles, which are usually entertaining, really. So back at the top of the tower, Noah gets into it with Luca. And of course, Summer and Daniel are there. Daniel, Hulk Hogan, Romalotti. And Daniel tries to calm Noah down, telling him that he can't just be acting like this, and that basically he's saying that he needs to let Summer make her own choices. And then back at the courthouse, Chelsea tries to say some good words about Adam. But then the judge goes and, gives him 10 years in prison. This is, of course, because the actor will be leaving the show, I guess, short term. I don't really know. But he has a primetime series that he's in coming out soon on NBC. So Adam and Chelsea have their heartfelt goodbye, even though, of course, they're already starting to set up Chelsea and Nick getting close while Adam's in prison. So later, Nick and Chelsea are talking about how Adam wants Nick to keep an eye out for Connor. And Nick says that's not all he wants to do. He needs to let Connor one day know about the Newman family and how his grandfather Victor is capable of anything, and that Victor is the one responsible for all of this Adam mess. After court, Victor and Nikki head to the engagement party, and of course, Victor gives Luca a little mini warning. And while Daniel continues to catch up with people at the party, Dylan approaches Victor and tells him that he is going to find the evidence to prove that Victor set Adam up. Dylan then heads back to work after telling Sharon that he is not going to be on the losing end of this. Nikki asks Victor what that was about, but he plays it off, of course. While Nick is telling Victoria that Summer is too good for Luca, Adam is in the van being transferred to a federal prison when he is chloroformed by one of the guards. As Noah looks on disgusted, Luca makes a mini speech about how he is joining the family tomorrow. And then after the speech, Travis walks in, walking with a swagger, and Luca wonders why he's there. So Chloe went to comfort Chelsea, but in walks Kevin and Dylan to tell her that Adam has escaped, and Chelsea can't believe they lost her husband. And so then we get to the final scene of the day where they show Dylan tied up and with a hood over his head, and he wonders who is there, and off comes the hood, and it is Victor Newman himself. Victor and his son Adam have a soap opera stare down. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good episode of Y&R today. This whole Luca Summer thing, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but when they put all these other characters in the mix, it usually makes for some good scenes. And of course, Adam's going away to prison. I don't remember, maybe not, since Victor, I guess, just helped him escape. But I do wonder how they're going to write Justin Hartley off. The best thing about Y&R lately is the scenes they've been having seem a lot more focused than the norm. They have these good character interaction scenes that actually mean something, like with Adam and Nick earlier in the week, and some things with Neil this week, and of course they're going to bring on Neil's mother, even though he's been on the show for 25 years or so. That should be interesting. But they're really doing good with this character development stuff and infusing it into these meaningful scenes. And really, over the past more than a decade, none of the American soaps have been able to do a good job of this. So hopefully, I don't know if it's Mal Young or not, but whoever it is, they are doing something good, and I hope they stay consistent with it, even though Chuck Pratt is still writing the show, and he's not the greatest soap writer in the world, but I guess you can't win them all. The Billy and Phyllis affair was not on today, which is a good thing, in my opinion. This affair is just not lighting me on fire at all. Phyllis always cheating on Jack. Yada yada yada. That is probably my least favorite thing the show is doing storyline wise. And really none of the stories are super great, super exciting, probably because Chuck Pratt is writing it. But on the day to day, the show really is decent and good. So right now it is my favorite of the 4 American soaps. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the return of Jill has been fantastic since she is actually in character. Amen to that. So I guess we should move on to soap number 2 of the day. That being General Hospital. It is really a show I have not watched consistently for at least 3 or 4 years now, but I've been watching it here and there the past couple days, so I really don't know a lot of these characters, to be honest, because a lot of them seem new, but overall it seems decent. So, well, let's see what happened in today's episode. So it seems as Laura and Kevin slept together the night before. I really do enjoy these two coupling up. I think 2 veteran characters like this just really click together. More on them later, because we have Carly and Sunny meeting Jason and Sam for breakfast, and they have some good news for Carly and Sunny. Jason and Sam are getting married, which very much pleases Carly and Sunny. The mysterious Nell, of course, shows up, and she wants to talk to Carly in private before she could really introduce her to Sam and Jason. Of course, Nell reminds me of when Carly first came to town trying to break up her mother, Bobby, and Tony. And Nell's been pretty weird, giving Sunny and Carly these strange looks all the time, so I don't know I don't really know what she's about. Then we have at the college campus Christina, who finds Parker and asks about her calling. Parker says she didn't call and must have just pocket dialed her. Now, I guess these two had some sort of fling. I didn't see it, but I guess they did. And Parker reveals that she is getting back with her wife, and Christina thinks that Parker just used her, which I guess in this case she did. And Christina goes away angry. Then we have Jordan showing Alexis a tabloid story that says violence runs in the family and has a picture of Alexis seemingly getting violent with Christina. Alexis says the photo is not really in context and tries to tell Jordan what really happened. But then Jordan thinks that maybe she's trying to discredit herself as a witness against Julian. And Alexis is not happy that Jordan actually thinks that. And Jordan says that Alexis is basically pretty much just kind of out of it. And she does not want Alexis to screw up this case for her. So then back to Carly and Nell. They go back to the house because Nell wants to talk in private. And Nell says that she really doesn't want Carly trying to tell people, trying to make her out to be some kind of, I guess, hero in a way, just because she was a donor. And Carly says she won't tell anyone. Nell then gets a call from her supervisor, and, well, Nell's been laid off. And she has to get back to Atlanta to start looking for a job. So then Jordan and Andre have a talk, and she tells Andre about how she used to be undercover for the DA and how that got her fighting with her son and how Julian was responsible for a lot of shit. And basically she fears that Julian may get out of his charges, and she does not want that to happen. She is adamant about that and does seem scared. So back to Kevin and Laura talk about drama happening quickly between them. Kevin went out for a bit, and Laura accidentally knocked down some folders of Kevin's, and she saw that he was working on a book about a woman with mental illness who was searching for her ex-husband, which of course sounds a lot like Laura herself. So she confronts Kevin about it, and he admits that she kind of sparked his writing again. His creative juices started flowing, and he said he would not tell anybody about it and that nobody has seen it yet anyway. But Laura feels betrayed and thinks that maybe that was supposed to be the happy ending for the book, but he says that last night was the real thing, in fact. And now that they've had this confrontation, he is not going to publish the book, but she doesn't believe him and is still pissy and walks out. So Jason asked Sunny to be his best man, and of course Sunny agreed to do so, but then Sunny rushes off after seeing the tabloid with Alexis and his daughter, Christina, and Sunny goes to Alexis' house and is pissed off about it and demands to know why this made the cover of the tabloid and what really happened between Alexis and their daughter. And that is how the episode ended. It was actually good. I mean, I liked it. It wasn't the greatest ever, of course, but not bad. I do think, much like Y&R General Hospital, is getting some things right, despite getting a lot of things wrong still. But the stories, they have, I don't know the word I'm looking for, they have something to them. They really do. And I think that, much like Y&R, on the day-to-day basis, it tells a pretty good story. So I would give a thumbs up for GH Today, much like Y&R, even though I still think Y&R is the better of the two. Well, I guess we should move on to soap number 3. That being Days of Our Lives. Now, this show is my show. It's the soap opera I grew up with, my favorite soap opera of them all. But right now, the show is mostly garbage and has been for most of the year. They got better at the end of last year, but it has not been a good 2016. Ratings are at an all-time low. I mean, I can't help but be negative about it, but I'll try and review it real quick. So Kayla and Belle find Jennifer with an empty vodka bottle. She is alive, however, but they tell her they want to help her through it. Jennifer wonders if Belle is going to tell Chad, but she says she is a mother as well, and since Jennifer just lost Abigail, even though we all know Abigail's not dead because this show just shoots too far in advance. But yeah. Then we have Claire and Theo who just kissed. I liked Theo and Sierra together, but Theo and Claire are okay together, I guess. Claire wants to watch a movie together with him, and they do, but he says that he has seen that movie before with Sierra, and kind of goes on and on about Sierra, and Claire is upset and says that she wanted to make out. She wonders if he regrets their first kiss, but he doesn't. She says that she's starting to get feelings for him, and it's kind of awkward because I guess he doesn't know what to say. And speaking of awkward, Sierra professes her love to Chad, who tells her that he doesn't love her, and he blames himself, saying he's been too open with her. She wonders if it was an age difference. I mean, this whole thing has been so stupid that it gives me a headache. I mean, I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but it wasn't. Plus, I mean, Abigail just died in quotation marks, but I mean, that's Chad's wife, and this just happened, and yet here is Sierra professing her love to Chad. So Jennifer goes home, and Julie is there. At least it's always good to see Julie, as they try and comfort Jennifer, I guess. So sad and over the top, Sierra is trying to get a hold of Claire since her mother isn't home to talk with. Claire realizes that Theo still has feelings for Sierra and says that she regrets kissing him because of that. But Theo says he knows that he has to get over Sierra, and says that he does not regret the kiss, and he kisses her again. Hey, get it, Theo. So they move to the couch and start making out, but of course Sierra shows up there and interrupts, which ruins their little makeout session. Sierra apologizes and rushes out. Theo later runs into her at the park. She asks if Claire and him are a couple now. He says no, it just happened. He tries to explain, but she doesn't seem to really want to talk. But he says he will if she ever wants to. Julie, meanwhile, takes Jennifer to the hospital for an AA meeting. Jennifer tells the people at the AA meeting about Abigail's presumed death and how it led to this binge. And she says that Abigail would want some dignity. So then at the Demera mansion, Belle shows up to talk to Chad, and Belle admits to Chad that Jennifer did have a relapse and says that he will get custody of Thomas unless he screws it up. Chad thinks that he already did, so Belle fakes a call to social services, but he grabs the phone away. She asked if he wants his kid to be a foster kid, and he doesn't. And since Sierra is not available to watch the kid tonight, Belle decides to stay the night. I don't know. This show is just both boring and the stories mostly suck. I mean, there's no other way to say it. So, just overall, boring, blah, stupid episode. And then they act like we're supposed to be excited that Dina Higley is going to be writing again, who never has good stories, even though she has a new co-head writer in Ryan Kwan. But I doubt the show is going to get better, and judging by some upcoming spoilers, it might even get worse somehow. I don't know if it could possibly get worse, but apparently this show always finds a way to get worse. So the last show to review will be a quick review of Bold and the Beautiful. What always gets me about this show is that it's so short anyway, which is a good thing, by the way. I kind of wish all American soaps were a half hour. But with all the commercials, it's really only 19 minutes, and yet they still are able to put in like a minute of overhead shots of LA all the time. So really, it's like 18 minutes or less of actual show. My problem with this show is that they always write in circles over and over the same stories, basically. We have Forever Hope Brooke, who is now hooking up with, I want to call him Brad, because, you know, that was his character on YNR, with Bill. And, I mean, it's one thing to go after your sister's husband once, but, you know, twice. Why not? Because she's Brooke. Forever Hope Brooke. Katie tells Bill that she moved out of the house and wants to get a new start. Bill doesn't really tell her that he and Brooke intend to be together, but it is what it is between them, I guess. She wants Bill to not put Brooke in their bedroom because of Will, I guess. They talk about a settlement. Bill does not want to relinquish any of his shares in Forrester. I guess she wants like 12% or something. They have a good conversation, but she says she accepts that she will not acquire any of the shares. And then at Forrester Creation, Steffi, Thomas, Ridge, and Brooke are talking about Quinn and Eric and all that mess. They also talk about the shares and whatnot. I mean, I don't really watch much of this episode. I zone out a lot during B&B and days. I fast forward a lot of days because it sucks. And this is probably even worse than days because of all the redundant storylines, triangles, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Katie tells Ridge the bad news about the shares, but Ridge still has some hope of getting the shares. And then Bill tries to get romantic with Brooke back at the house. He says they love each other and always will. And of course, after he gets a divorce, he wants to marry Brooke. You know, Brooke hasn't been married enough, I guess. I don't know. We've seen these storylines 5 billion times. I mean, I guess that's what happens when you have a small cast, but Jesus Christ, get creative, people. So that is my review for the day. It's hard to watch Days of B&B, but I'm going to keep trying to do it. I mean, none of these American soaps are great. And they're not even good, to be honest, but at least YNR and GH can manage to be decent. I will be back tomorrow to review the American soap episodes of Young and the Restless, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, and Bold and the Beautiful for Friday, August 26th. I will see you then. Thank you for listening, and I hope you will stay listening. I have many different podcasts that will be coming up, so keep checking in. Visit boxoftalks.com, please, and see you tomorrow.